The Amazing Freedom Convoy triumphs as Mask and Vax Mandates have begun to fall all across Canada. In this video, we're going to look at the stunning series of mandate repeals on both sides of the Canadian border. We're going to see how Justin Trudeau is beginning to crack. And stick with me to the very end of this video when I'll reveal why the Freedom Convoy may go down in history as perhaps the greatest moment in the worldwide PATRIOT revolt. You are not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you. Great to be with you. As always, I'm your daily fake news antidote, your PATRIOT professor, helping to think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Hey, gang, a huge thanks to all of you who participated in ReporterRhino.com. We're exposing Republicans in name only all across the country, and this is only just the beginning. It's all part of a three-step framework for getting rid of the Mitch McConnells and the Lindsey Grahams that are infecting the PATRIOT movement. We're exposing them, we're getting educated about them, and then we're going to evict them. So if you haven't already done so, make sure to click on that link below or go to ReporterRhino.com. Make sure to share this website with your friends far and wide, and let's together make this the most amazing midterm elections ever. All right, gang, so let's dive right in here. We really are beginning to see already an astonishing triumph for the Freedom Convoy in Canada. It's a triumph that appears to be extending even to the bluest and most liberal parts of here in the United States. And this triumph is foreshadowing the ultimate triumph of Trudeau folding on the mandate. So let's unpack all this step by step. Let's start with the mandates falling across Canada. The province of Alberta has officially announced the end of all vaccine passports. Premier Jason Kenney made the announcement on Tuesday, saying that all vaccine passports have done is sow horrific divisions within Canada. Now it's time to just start learning to live with COVID. What a novel idea. I wonder who came up with that over the last couple of years, right? In addition to Alberta, Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe, he announced this week that his own province's vaccine passport system would be eliminated on Valentine's Day, while indoor masking requirements would be lifted at the end of the month in February. Moving over to Prince Edward Island, Premier Dennis King announced that they too will begin easing their pandemic restrictions beginning February 17th, but will not finish lifting mask requirements and limits on public gatherings until April 7th, but at least they're getting rid of them. And all of these provinces are following the lead of Quebec, where Premier François Legault announced earlier this week that he was officially scrapping a plan to tax the unvaccinated. Quebec was actually considering levying what they called a, quote, health contribution on the unvaxxed because of the supposed financial burden that they were imposing on the rest of society. Well, that plan is now dead, and shortly thereafter, the province of Ontario announced that they would be lifting a number of COVID restrictions as well. So we can already see that the mandates are beginning to fall all over Canada, and isn't it interesting that it all began this week as the trucker convoys effectively shut down the federal government in Ottawa. And perhaps even more importantly, the truckers have effectively shut down Ambassador Bridge, which connects Canada to the United States via Detroit, and accounts for over 25% of the $400 billion in trade between Canada and the U.S. annually. So these truckers are brilliant. They are hitting Ottawa where it hurts, right in the pocketbook. And again, not just Ottawa, but in the U.S. as well. And that's forcing a number of blue states to begin lifting their mandates. They're reading the writing on the wall here. They recognize that there's nothing that the Canadian government can do to remove this massive wall of trucks, this great wall of freighters that's effectively locked down the single most important bridge in North America. And so it appears that mask mandates in the bluest of blue states are falling to appease these truckers. We're talking New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Maryland, Delaware, Illinois. Some of the bluest of the blue states are recognizing that the vast majority of the population is done with these masks and mandates, and they're ready to move on. And if politicians don't comply with such sentiments, then voters will find ones that do. So this is a huge triumph for the truckers. Mandates are falling all over the place in a way that would never have happened had they not risen up and taken action, and brilliant action to boot, locking down the most important bridge on the continent. But something else is happening here as well. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, the woke joke of the world, he's beginning to crack. And you know why he's beginning to crack? Because people are starting to think again, right? What do you think of this shirt? You like this shirt? Think. It's still legal, right? I get so many comments from people when I wear shirts like this. They love it. And you can get yours by clicking on the link below and visiting our merch store. We got the best Patriot designs in the world. And not only will you be spreading Patriot hope by wearing these things, but you'll actually be supporting this channel as well. So make sure to click on that link below or stop by store.turleytalks.com. That's store.turleytalks.com. All right, so over the last few days, we've been seeing liberal leaders begin to break ranks with Trudeau. We reported yesterday on the lawmaker from Trudeau's own Liberal Party, Joel Lightbound. He delivered a stunning and scathing rebuke of Trudeau for dividing and stigmatizing Canadians and politicizing vaccine mandates and COVID restrictions. Well, now Lightbound is being joined by yet another fellow Quebec Liberal, a member of Parliament, who's openly chastising Trudeau for his incompetent handling of the pandemic. And so over the last few days, we're seeing an increasing number of Liberals turning on Trudeau, all as the Tories are uniting in calling for the end of all mandates across Canada. Moreover, we just saw a fascinating poll come out. You're going to love this. It shows that even diehard leftists are siding with the truckers. The poll found that 57% of Green Party voters support the protesters. Let that hit you. 57% of Green Party voters. And it seems that the explanation for this is that the populist right and the populist left are beginning to unite. They're uniting against the status quo, the Canadian establishment, just like a number of Bernie supporters voted for Trump. And you know, it's video footage like this that's galvanizing an increasingly sympathetic sentiment towards the truckers. These are Canadian police arresting a helpless old man for honking his horn in support of the truckers. They confronted him and apparently failed to show proper ID. You know, again, where was this law enforcement during the BLM riots? Why are they picking on this poor old man? Note the video's gotten over 3 million views in just the last couple of days. And you have to think that it's videos like that that are contributing to a growing sympathy with the populist uprising. Now, for his part, Trudeau himself appears to be cracking. Remember, he's trying to paint these truckers as neo-Nazi, Confederate flag-waving racists, and it's just not working anymore. People can see they're waving Canadian flags. They can see the truckers playing hockey to pass the time. They see Canadians. They don't see Confederates. And yet, as Ezra Levant has noticed, Trudeau has backed himself into a corner, right? How do you spew hateful rhetoric like that, accusing these truckers of racism, and then comply with their demands? How do you comply with racists? And so pundits are beginning to recognize that Trudeau has gotten himself into basically a lose-lose situation here. That lockdown on the Ambassador Bridge is going to force eventually the Biden administration to capitulate to the demands of the truckers. They're going to have to. And once those demands are met on this side of the border, where we release all mandates, Trudeau is going to have no other option than to capitulate to the truckers' demands himself. And so in the end, Trudeau is going to have to capitulate and drop the mandates. And until he does so, he allows Canadian society to be irreparably interrupted. Either way, he loses. It really does appear that the Canadian truckers have triumphed on both sides of the border. And as such, it may turn out that the Freedom Convoy will have been the most amazing moment in the worldwide patriot uprising we have ever seen. Now, before you go, you will definitely want to check out my latest video I just uploaded on Kamala Harris absolutely crumbling in her most disastrous interview yet. You're going to absolutely love it. So make sure to click on the link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.